All right, so so we're doing point two of the VK article, um, on why the world no longer wants a Russian wife. Now, I want to just quickly go back to the first point of women are told, grow up and find when you get older, find a man, get married, have children. Um, because of the society they live in. I mean, the West had it all as well. I went over it in point one, 1950s, what were women's roles in the Western society was to be married and be a mother and a wife. That was it. That was their purpose in life. So the Eastern Slavic countries, as I went over, had what was predominantly more matriarchal. I mean, it's a hugely debatable topic, but the women were treated far more equally through Soviet times than what they were in any Western counterpart. So there's a little bit in point one I didn't actually touch on. So it talks about if the women, can go out, conquer space, invent a cure for cancer, but none of it means anything until there's a ring on a finger. Now, it talked about the women seeking out these men and getting a stamp in their passport, etc. And then they talked about even if you give all his flaws, including alcoholism and impotence. So, but only until he becomes her husband. So, indeed. So, however, the number of people you talk to, predominantly Slavic women, the number of women you will encounter who say they left or divorced the supposed drunken, lazy Russian husband. So they somehow think that Western men are these amazing unicorns that treat them with respect, buy them flowers, tell them that they love them, run after them, open car doors for them. And you know what? The Russian husband is more likely to treat the Slavic woman the way she wants to be treated than what any Western guy will. And why they think this is, oh, propaganda, propaganda. And yes, of course it works out for some, but hey, we maybe should go and see if there's some stats on how many overseas marriages last compared to domestic marriages. And considering it's more than one in two marriages end in divorce now. So you can understand why some people just don't want to do it. And then you hear stories of people being together, not being married, and they get married and they get divorced because the whole thing changes. Some countries call it common law marriage, others call it de facto, but just living in a monogamous relationship as if husband wife, and it goes well for them. And then they sign the paperwork, and something kicks in where it doesn't work for them. So, but point one was more about, I don't think I addressed how that happens. I don't think that's any different in the West. I'm sure some women put up with a little niggling traits of someone, but they predominantly, there's a saying, it's a saying that women want the wedding, but not the marriage. Because remember there's that show Bridezillas and all the hoo-ha around weddings and the photography, the videos, the after party thing. It's celebration, celebration, joy, joy, joy. And you can find people 7 days later filing for divorce. So there could be more merit in not getting married and being in a de facto relationship. So that's just, there's a bit of leftover point two. So point, sorry, point, that was point one. So point two, in the VK article of why the world no longer wants a Russian wife. A Russian woman doesn't compete with a man, equals. A Russian woman is incapable of partnership. It's true, Russian wives don't really compete with their husbands. Why would they? It's much more convenient if he is the strong shoulder or the stone wall and she climbs into his arms. Let the man decide where to live and how to earn money while she dictates where to vacation, what fur coat to buy this season, and don't you dare object. She knows her rights. A man owes her simply because he is a man. Isn't that interesting? It's a quite a different slant to some Western thinking and feminist thinking. Is that's a very different way of looking at it, because they go, the man owes me because he's the man. Whereas in the West, it's more like the women are like, well, you need to treat me as a princess because I'm a woman. So it's just an interesting little take on it. So it's true, in the old days, so yes, I'm a dinosaur. I used to know Fred Flintstone. So that's an in joke, but people know who Fred Flintstone is. So it was still remember the saying, the man is the breadwinner. And I was actually talking to a American friend in the Netherlands, and she was saying, particularly in the USA, men seem to have some sort of an issue if their partner or wife earns more money than them. Apparently, it's quite troublesome. So whereas what we're reading here is it's expected. It says, you're the man, go out and earn the money, put a roof over my head, give me the money to buy the food, and I'll make it down, I'll put food on the table for you, I'll keep the house clean, you bring in the finances. There's nothing wrong with that. And then women were able to do that themselves as independence grew. The Slavic women now proudly will tell you they are an independent woman. But while being on dating sites looking for a man. And so this was a little gemstone I was going to bring up later. But it's going to fall into this now, right? This literally is something I was going to do a complete video on, and I probably still will, but the words are right in front of me now, right in front of me. A Russian woman is incapable of partnership. Now, I am not going to do a broad paintbrush stroke on all of them. Some of them are fantastic. Some Western women are fantastic. Some men are fantastic. Some men are not fantastic. I am not going to gender bash anyone in this, because people are people. So, but look at it. What creates that mindset? It's not a mindset. It's actually a reaction to trauma. So if the couple starts out loving and nurturing and they're on their best behavior, and if you read the 5 Love Languages book, there's a supposed in love experience where it's euphoric, right? So you're not logically clearly thinking. So you are in love. So you are thinking with your emotions. Your emotions are ruling the head. So you're like, oh, I found someone. Out of all the people on the planet, they love me. And you bond together, you somatically co-regulate, they keep you calm, there's someone to talk to, there's someone supportive. And apparently, there's a lot in the 5 love languages book. It is actually quite good when it gets towards the end. I had trouble with it at the start. There's more a coffee shop edition of attachment style, where attachment style is born out of the years 2 to 7 and the way your parents treat you and your reaction to that and your coping mechanism around how you're brought up. And I will do a piece on how attachment style relates and correlates to particular love languages. I mean, pretty much you go to on one of them is anxious attachment, fearful avoidant, will predominantly have physical touch as a love language because it co-regulates them. You somatically bond and you keep each other calm, and there's always someone around you. But in the fearful avoidant, they go in overwhelm, deactivation, and need to have a break for possibly extended periods of time. But so what's the point, you might wonder? Do I ever have a point? Somewhere buried in all of it, there's some points. So trauma. So I literally knew a Russian woman. I've known a lot of Slavic women. So the recurring story is this. I divorced. And why did they divorce? My husband was an alcoholic. He was abusive. He didn't want to work. He was lazy. Okay. So I said this to someone about why some of those women have issues with forming a relationship. And bingo, point 2 of the VK article is a woman, Russian woman's incapable partnership. Okay. But I would say after trauma or as a result of attachment style. Okay. Generally speaking, 60% of the world's secure, you could find 60%. Well, I mean, that's something to be researched, isn't it? That could be an interesting topic. Do any particular countries have higher ratios of, say, dismissive avoidant than other countries? So, yes, I had a quote from a Russian woman, actually in a part of Russia I hadn't heard of. I spoke to her about the difficulty in some men having women stick around or be like emotionally supportive in a relationship. So this woman had this quote. I wanted to actually read it verbatim from her. But I talked about it, like particularly on dating sites, a lot of the dating pool is dismissive avoidant, right? It's people who just think, well, mum and dad were together. They didn't hug each other. They didn't say they loved each other, but I guess I should do it. And if I want to like have a kid and have a false sense of immortality and have that kid for the wrong reason, just because I'm selfish and think I should have a mini me, I better find someone to have that with. So they will seek out a partner, but it will be very, how we say, there's not actually emotional attachment in it. I mean, think of what the word dismissive is, and particularly dismissive avoidant. I mean, what a combination. So if the partner of a dismissive avoidant says, I had a bad day at work, they will dismiss that emotion and go, get over it, sunshine. They won't run over and hug them. Just don't expect it. I actually met a woman on a site, and I just said, generally speaking, I like to communicate daily with my partner, particularly if it's an overseas relationship. I enjoy a text every day to know they're alive, probably first up, and like good nights and that. I had one woman go, every day. Are you kidding me? Don't you work? And I'm like, bingo, dismissive, avoidant, possibly fearful avoidant. I'd have to dig deeper into it. But to actually find people that were as inconvenient, and how dare they take my time up, and I have to say hello to my loved one. It blows this little mind what there is of it. When I am like, enjoy the company of people, enjoy bonding, I actually enjoy physical touch. I can be a huggy person, shake hands person. Some people don't come near me. But it works for two dismissive avoidants, right? Possibly you can slip a fearful avoidant in there, depending on where they're sliding in it. But it can work. I mean, look at the number of fly in, fly out relationships around, but look at the number of them that fail. But yeah, that's why secure attached work well. So if you're talking about, if we're just going to go back to this point where so I'll come out and say it. It's from some experience, some of this thing is transactional. It's transactional. The relationship is transactional. It's almost a business deal. It's not two people just going, I like you. You make me happy. It's enjoyable to be in your space. We even like doing the same things together. How incredible is that? But some are like, get out to work, earn the money, come home. If you're late for dinner, it's in the oven. And said, I'm sleeping in the other room tonight. Don't touch me. And that's a relationship. And for some of them, it works. I've known people who see each other on the weekend. Now, I've got a boyfriend, I've got a girlfriend, see him Saturday, Sunday, do what I want for the week. My little mind doesn't work like that. But all I'm getting at is you will find those people are dismissive avoidant. They will fall into that category. And basically, even if they stop seeing each other, they won't actually miss each other. They don't actually go, I'd really like my partner to be with me tonight. It's not even in their head. They are just, I'm doing this, and I'll find some time for you over there on the weekend. And they probably regret doing that. So all I'm saying is that with this quote, it's true. It's actually true. There are women on dating sites, men as well. Let's not make it about the women. There are dismissive, avoidant men. In fact, supposedly statistically, there's more dismissive, avoidant men than there are women. So, but you can rein these points into about the old adage of you should be happy in yourself and not for it in others, and that's fine, and that's why it should be. You should have your own happiness. You should find someone, and your life is better because of it. It should never be worse. Of course, you might compromise, which is really difficult for some people, but you shouldn't have to give up what your passions in life are. So I will only agree with point 2 on the premise of if they want to say, a Russian woman doesn't compete with a man equals a Russian woman is incapable of partnership. I get what they're saying. I mean, I was with someone and just challenged them to an arm wrestle, and they were like, I don't do that with men. It's like they really had that they had their concept of who they are and where they fit in society, and fully respected it. So, because it wasn't a need to be better, because they were confident with who they were. So trauma does it. if you've been traumatized by a partner and you have a societal drive or innate want to be with another human being, it'd be really great if you read some books and did some work on yourself and know that when things start to feel funny, when it feels yucky, when you start having irrational thoughts of, great, this person does what my last partner did. I just noticed that they don't put their cups in the sink. He's going to leave me. She's going to leave me. She's going to cheat on me. He's going to cheat on me. All of this, what A equals A stuff comes crashing in on your pretty little heads. It's like you try to park it and go, Fred's not David. And all of a sudden, Fred says something. He goes, oh my God, David said that. It's going to happen again. And it's triggering. It's triggering and it is trauma. It is not a personality trait. It is not what they actually, how they actually want to be, believe it or not. So, yeah, I mean, there's a thing later that comes up where the man's the head of the family, the woman is the neck. I mean, it's actually, I think it's a really appropriate saying where it's like, oh, you're the man. We'll let you think you run, you're the head of the family, but I'll be doing your budgeting and I'll say where we go on holiday. But if it works, it works. All right, so I think that covers point 2. All right, so I will just end this.